What is up, guys? Winter Kills here. Welcome back to a brand new featured archetype. I actually was playing against this deck for the first time on stream last night, and I thought this deck was absolutely crazy. And I figured I would do a featured archetype on this. I don't do featured archetypes on every new archetype that comes out, only on the stuff that I find personally to myself to be extremely appealing or interesting, or something that may have a lot of potential in the future. This deck, I don't know about future potential, but I mean, actually, future potential is pretty high with this deck. Some of the plays these Link monsters can do is actually pretty crazy. Unfortunately, I know what some of the effects can do going into this, but if you don't know, then you're in for a surprise, because some of these cards are absolutely insane, especially when we get down to the Link monsters. But also, real quick before we go ahead and get started, remember we are sponsored by Imperium Duelist, and if you want to pick up any sleeves or mats from their website, you can check out the links down in the description, and also use code WinterKills10 off to save 10% off on your next purchase if you like. Helps support me and helps you guys save a little money in the process. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Basically a dragon-based archetype called the Guardragons, and it's coming out in Savage Strike, which is the next booster set after Soul Fusion, which is releasing actually in just a few days. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first one here. It's Lustia the Guardragon. Obviously, this is a normal monster, level 2 water dragon tuner effect monster. Not really much else to say there. Dragon Shrine, very viable in this deck. I saw a build playing Flammable Guard and some other things, so Manila Dragons are kind of important. Some people were playing Heretics with it. Kind of reminds me of like Mythic Ruler and all that stuff. Like some of the decks with Heretic engines were playing Manila monsters, like so there's like this Manila level 6 dragon tuner that they were playing in some of these decks, or Luster Dragon, like I remember. But this kind of gives me that vibe back to that old school, maybe 2014 late, Mythic Ruler stuff. But then we have Andrake the Guardragon, level 4 wind dragon effect monster. Says cannot be normal summon set, must be special summoned by a card effect. If this card is special summoned from the hand or deck, you can double this card's original attack and defense until the end of next turn. If this card is banished or in the graveyard, if this card that is banished or in the graveyard is special summoned, you can target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it. You can only use the effect of Andrake the Guardragon once per turn. So that effect right there, it's not the greatest. It seems very situational. It says it must first be special summoned by a card effect, and then if this card is special summoned from the hand or deck, you get to double its original attack and defense into the end of the turn, which is actually pretty decent considering it already has 2,000 attack points. Doubling that, obviously attack and defense, puts up to 4,000 attack and 1,200 defense. That's a pretty beefy level 4 monster if you ask me. We'll go look at Garmides the Guardragon. I'm assuming all of these cards' names will be changed. I'll be surprised if they're even still called the Guardragons. Brandish Maidens, Sky Strikers, Guardragons to I have no idea. I don't know what I don't even want to speculate. But the other effect of this guy here is he's a level 3 Earth. So if you look at all the monsters here, we have an ascending order, a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. So this level 3 right here says if a normal monster is sent to your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send one dragon monster from your hand to the graveyard. Add this card to your hand. You can only use each effect of Garmides the Guardragon once per turn. So this card is, I think, one of the better ones to play. It's very much compatible with Dragon Shrine. Easy way to send a dragon to the graveyard, especially if you're sending the Manila one to the graveyard first. You can follow, then you can follow that up by sending an additional dragon to be Garmides to get that additional effect. Now, I can only imagine that the synergy this deck would have with the dragon rulers. I mean, look at, we have a fire, we have earth, we have wind, we have water. I don't know if this is alluding to a possible releasing of the dragon rulers in the future. I know they unbanned Tempest in the OCG. I don't know. But this this just seems really good. Like, just ignoring everything else, this guy right here, it says if this card in the graveyard, you can send a dragon monster from your hand to the graveyard. Add this card to your hand. That just seems pretty decent. And they're all dragons, obviously, so you have some pretty good potential for some maybe dragon ruler synergy with these guys. And I don't know if the synergy is, you know, really top tier, if it's kind of mediocre. I don't know. I haven't really tested it. I haven't seen anyone test it yet. It'll probably be more builds of this coming out in the future. We'll see. And then we have Promenesis, the Guardragon. It says it's a level 1 fire dragon effect, 500 attack, 200 defense. So its stats aren't as great as the other two. You know, 16,000, 20 or 2,600. Even this one with 2,100 defense. This is 500, 200. Says you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target one dragon monster you control against 500 attack and defense until the end of your opponent's turn. If a normal monster is sent to your graveyard while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. So again, if you like, I don't know, if you get this to the graveyard by perhaps discarding it by some way, shape, or form, getting it to the grave, and then you can send this to the graveyard Dragon Shrine. You know, you can revive this card essentially, and any other effects that you want to use. You know, you could use send this to send this with this already engraved. Tons of synergy going on there with a lot of things being sent to the grave at a right time. So I think there's quite a bit of synergy with these cards here, but I think the spells and the traps do help out a lot more. This card here is the we have two spells for the deck. We have a continuous and we have a field spell. It's just what we need, is possibly another broken field spell. Poor terraforming. Might not be around for much longer with these field spells, man. You have to worry about hard drawing your damn field spells, or play Planet Pathfinder, whatever it's called. I don't know, but we have Guardragon of the World Legacy. This artwork here, I can't tell if this is like Crusadia Maximus or Mech Knight of Ram and Imduke World Chalice Dragon. Some pretty cool lore going on here off of the World Chalice stuff, the Mech Knight stuff. A lot of cool lore going on. But when you activate this card, you can also target one level 4 or lower dragon monster in your graveyard. If you did, either add it to your hand or special summon it. Once per turn, you can target one dragon monster you control, move that monster you control to another of your main monster zones. You can activate one Guardragon of the World Legacy per turn. So this is probably one of the better cards, I think, in the deck, because it says when you activate this card, you also target one level 4 or lower dragon monster in your graveyard. And if you did, either add it to your hand or special summon it. So if you get this guy to the graveyard, I think Dragon trying to be like an easy 3 of in this deck, in my opinion. I don't know, it seems really good. But you special summon this by a card effect, and it gets doubled attack and defense. That's just a simple way to actually take advantage of this guy's effect. Obviously, I'm no expert on this deck, but that just seems right there. A simple little way. 4K beater off of this thing. And it also allows you to move the zones of pretty much any dragon monster that you control. It doesn't even have to be a Guardragon monster. It can be literally any dragon, which is really important for when we get to the Link monsters. These Link monsters effects are absolutely crazy, especially this one here, the Link 2. Then we have Guardragon's Barrier. Obviously, this is their field spell. And again, all this stuff looks like it's coming out in Savage Strike, which is really awesome. Which is, again, right around the corner, sort of, in February. It says you can target one dragon monster you control against attack and defense equals the total Link rating of all Link monsters in the field times 100. Which we have a couple Link 1s and Link 2s that we're going to be playing, so a little extra attack boost there isn't too terrible. And it is till the end of your opponent's turn, even though this card leaves the field. It says you can also use this effect of Guardragon's Barrier once per turn. Then once per turn, if exactly one dragon monster you control and no other cards will be destroyed by battle card effect, you can send one normal monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard instead. So it has like a built-in Dragonic Diagram type effect. It's got a little bit of a different clause. It doesn't just protect it for no cost. You do have to send a exactly one normal monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. Obviously, here's a built-in target for that archetype, but there's other cards you can play like Flamvel Guard and some other things as well. But now we'll go into the traps. We have Guardragon of Corruption. This card's artwork looks really, really cool. It says tribute one dragon monster to target 2 cards in the field, destroy them. You can only activate 1 of these per turn. So it's basically like an Icarus attack for dragons, which is actually pretty nice. It's not archetype specific. It literally is for any dragon. So just a lot of generic dragon support coming out with these cards. Then we have Guardragon's Awakening, continuous trap card. It says you can send one effect monster from your hand to the graveyard, which is cost. Special summon one level 4 lower dragon normal monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard in defense position. You can only use this effect of Guardragon's Awakening once per turn. So this effect right here doesn't seem too great. Send an effect monster from your hand or to the graveyard, especially on level 4 or lower. Dragon normal monster from your hand or deck. That just seems good because it gets these guys in grave, especially if, especially this guy. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send a dragon monster from your hand to the graveyard. So like it gets this guy into the grave to set up this, and this special summons this normal monster out, which can be used for link material, which is all this deck really cares about. All of these things are just pieces for these cards. It's all just working up for the link monsters, and then what the link monsters do is usually what is going to be more of your win condition. A lot of these cards just seem to help move things around to activate more link monster effects. Moving things around is actually just really important, as you'll see, because the link arrows on these link monsters actually matter quite a bit. So we'll look at the first one here. It's Agar Pain, the Guardragon. Pretty cool artwork. The artwork on these cards all look fantastic. They know how to make good-looking dragon monsters, I guess. 2 dragon monsters. So, like, the fact that you have normal monsters that you can literally summon out for free that are dragons, doesn't matter. They don't need to be effect monsters or whatever for these. Just 2 dragon monsters, period. They can even have the same name, judging by what the text says right there. It says, you can only special summon Agar Pain, the Guardragon, or dragons, once per turn. You cannot special summon monsters except dragon monsters. And then during your main phase, you can special summon 1 dragon monster from your extra deck to the extra monster zone, or your zone, 2 or more link monsters point to. This is literally any link monster. It does not have to be Guardragon link monster. It could be a Saryuja, a Borload, a Decode, an Underclock, or whatever you want. Whatever's there, you can just make sure you either have an extra monster zone that it can go into, or if you don't have that, you just have, let's say, an arrow here and an arrow down. You can literally just summon from your extra deck any dragon monster to that zone that 2 or more link monsters point to. You can only use this effect of Agar Pain, the Guardragon, once per turn. So this means you can summon Crystal Wing, you can summon Borload Savage Dragon, you can summon Cyber's Attack Dragon or whatever it is. A lot of new awesome synchro monsters coming out in Savage Strike. You can summon Borosword, Borload, like you name it. Like this is so powerful. And the fact that you have this card here that allows you to literally move things around. You get this guy on board who, not even to mention, is a Link 1. And then you use this maybe or some of your other stuff to, or a simple Dragon Shrine even, to make a Link 2 on top of that. And you move stuff around with the Continuous if you need to. Like, and then boom, you get yourself a free Borload, Borosword, Crystal Wing, Savage Borload Dragon, Cyber's Attack Dragon, like all this stuff. Like, not Omega, but like literally any dragon from the extra deck. Anything. Crimson Red Nova Dragon. I think someone literally summoned this one on me. Crimson Red, I can't even, Red Nova? Archfiend? Let me see if I can find this. It was a Synchro monster. It was one of the better Red Dragon Archfiend cards. Let's see. No, it wasn't this guy. It was this guy. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. So you could, this is like, literally you can summon literally any of these things if you wanted to. Are the ones that are eligible to be summoned, because some say they only can be synchro summoned. Obviously, like Majestic Red Dragon, but or whatever the ones that say they can be. But literally, the possibilities are endless. These are just a few, obviously, that you can summon off of this. There's obviously so much more. And then we have LP, the Guardragon. Link 1, which is 1 arrow pointing to the left. It says 1 level 4 or lower dragon monster. And when you look at that, those are all level 4 or lower. It says you can only special summon LP, the Guardragon, once per turn. And these are the same for all the Link monsters. They can only be summoned each once a turn. And it says you cannot special summon monsters except dragon monsters during your main phase. You can special summon 1 dragon monster from your hand or deck to your zone 2 or more Link monsters point to. So you're starting to see the theme here. You do a lot of summoning to zones things point to, and there happen to be dragon monsters. Special summon 1 dragon monster from your hand or deck to your zone 2 or more Link monsters point to. So like Red Eyes, let's see, you can summon this monster from your deck. just like that, with simply getting these guys. I actually saw this, and if you do, let's say, have a Crystal Wing or something, or, you know, get summoned out by this effect, you can just use Red Eyes or whatever, this card here, or anything, not even that, like bringing back extra stuff. You can bring back any of this stuff and have access very easily to a one-of that is now has sort of become searchable in a way, that you just bring Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon out to the field to be able to use for literally whatever. It's very, very powerful card. And then we have Pisty, the Guardragon, which is my favorite looking one. I love the artwork on this one, next to this one, and then this one last probably, even though they all look fantastic. Link 1 level 4 or lower dragon monster. You can only special summon one of these per turn. You cannot special summon monsters that have dragon monsters. You can target one of your dragon monsters that is banished or in your graveyard. Special summon it to your zone 2 or more Link monsters point to. Now, if you're reading all these effects, you can probably see how absolutely insane all this stuff would be with the rulers. And I think it would be, absolutely. Because you're giving them very good Link monster support, which they didn't have previously, obviously. And if you just look at these monsters, they have quite a few intense restrictions on them. You can only summon them once a turn, and you can only summon dragons for the rest of the turn. So they're trying to get the point across. But I think this deck has a ton of potential. So you can literally summon any dragon from your extra deck, from your hand or deck, or from your grave or banish, with any combination of these things. It's pretty nuts. And then once you do your summon, you can move them out of the way with this card. So like the best setup would we have this here, and then this on the left side. Just summon down, move it over, summon another one, move it over. Like it just seems all so good. Says let's see here. Once per turn, if exactly one monster you control and no other would be destroyed. No, it's this card here. Once per turn, you can turn one dragon monster you control. Move that monster you control to another of your main monster zones. So you can activate, okay, you can only activate one a turn. I'll say if you could use this multiple times a turn, that would be absolutely insane. But there is a little bit of a seal on it, if you will. But yeah, that's the Guardragons. What do you guys think? Coming out in Savage Strike, I think this deck is going to be absolutely insane. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. But I had a viewer tell me that it's kind of tough to play against established boards, and isn't the most consistent. But yeah, I think it's a very cool archetype nonetheless. Whether it ends up being meta or not, I think it's very cool. Some very powerful Link monsters that can have bring out some very powerful dragon monsters from pretty much anywhere. So let me know what you guys think. And as always, Winterkill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.